Hi, everybody. Welcome to our last interview slash conversation series, live series with a friend of mine and a fellow coach, a life coach and health coach, Heather. And I'm going to bring her on as we go. And today we will be talking about habits. So, Heather, let me add you. Just give me a sec. There we go. Connecting to you now. So yes, we'll talk about habits. I'm a huge fan of habits. I help my clients build some good habits in their business, and I'm sure, Heather, you're helping your clients build some good habits with their nutrition.
Yes, it's all about the habits, my friend.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that. But okay, before we do that, because I think we forgot last time, let's reintroduce ourselves to people who are watching us and our audiences, and then we'll jump into the topic and just have a conversation about it. So yes, go ahead, you first.
Okay, we forget because we get so excited to share with everybody that we forget to say, like, who the heck are we? Okay,
Yeah,
my name is Heather London, and I am a life coach who helps women master midlife. So when you get into that stage of your life where your kids dump you and your body is changing and it seems like everything is going crazy, I help women heal their bodies, master their hormones, and refine their purpose again. So that's how I work with my clients.
great, awesome. And my name is Maggie Procton. I'm a business and leadership coach. I work with my clients, help them double their business without adding work to their schedule, and definitely habits are a big part of it. So as I said, feel free to ask questions if you're watching this live. We'll be happy to, answer any questions you have. Hi, everybody who is watching live. And then if you watch it as a replay and you have questions, just tag us, and we'll be happy to hop in as well. So, okay. So, Heather, maybe talk about how do you understand habits, or I guess what they are for you. Um, in your own life and maybe business, or how you incorporate them in your coaching for clients. Why is it important? And then I'll kind of talk to that as well. So we'll start there.
Okay, so for me, habits are everything because it's not, if you're trying to achieve a goal, it's not you do one thing and then you achieve the goal. In my
Mhm.
world, and what I coach my clients on is it's this goal that you want to do. What is the one little thing every single day that you get to do consistently to reach that goal? So, and that turns into a habit because you're
Mhm.
doing it every single day. And so that's how you make everything happen, is by those daily
Mhm.
habits, what you're willing to do. You are keeping that promise that you made to your future self, the person who has achieved that goal. And so I see that as like the answer to everything are the daily habits. What
Yeah.
about you?
I kind of agree because, I think like it has been proven scientifically as humans we're creatures of habits, right? So why not use that to your own advantage? Because we tend to acquire like the bad habits most of the time unconsciously, right? And then two, I'm the same. I always think about even running a successful business, a lot of it is repetition, right? And sometimes it's boring. Yeah, I got to market on a regular basis. I got to show up consistently. I got to deliver the service consistently. I need to have certain processes and systems. So it's all sort of repetition. So I think of habits as making it easy for yourself in the end, right? To create that consistency, to create that repetition. And yes, some of it we can automate and all those things, but like the tasks that we need to do in our businesses as leaders and CEOs that cannot be automated by technology, we can automate through habits and just like be faster and simpler and more consistent at it. So in this case, what are some habits that you have that help you in your personal life, nutrition, whatever, business that that you love, and maybe talk a little bit about how you establish them, and maybe what are some core habits that you help your clients establish, if there's some specific ones, or how do you do that? And then, again, I'll talk to that as well.
Okay, that's a great question. I think one of the main things that we do is we work on self-discipline, which is habits that we're doing every day. And the one question that we want to set our baseline for is what could I do on my worst day?
Mhm.
So that means
I
like
love that.
maybe you wake up and you're not feeling good, or it's your crazy busy day where you have to do
Mhm.
everything and take people everywhere. And so, what on those crazy
Mhm.
days where you don't want to do it, it's really hard. What's the smallest amount that you could do? And you make that your baseline. So this
Mhm.
way, you're going to be successful every day. And you become the person who does that every single day. So we, in our brain, we start to think of ourselves as I'm just somebody who
Mhm.
moves my body for 30 minutes every day, right? It's
Yeah.
non-negotiable. So even if you're going to the gym and and you're having the bad day, your worst day could be like, I just literally go to the gym and ride on the bike for 5 minutes and I come home, because you're still somebody who goes to the gym every day.
Mhm.
So that's keeping the habit. So it's really important that you set yourself up for success. So you factor in the days when you're going to be off, or it's going to be a tough day, or you don't want to do it, right? That's one of the key things,
Mhm.
so that you can show up for yourself every single day.
I love it. So, what are some habits that you have that serve you?
I like creating every month. I like to, especially in my group, we do something every month, right?
Mhm.
And for me, my daily non-negotiable is I move my body for 30 minutes every single day. You don't need to kill yourself at the gym. You don't need to burn calories. You need to move your body physically so that it feels good for you. And
Mhm.
so that just becomes who you are. You're somebody who moves your body every single day. I also eat certain superfoods and clean foods every single day because
Mhm.
I feel like eating food is nourishing our body. And if
Mhm.
I can nourish my body as part of my daily routine, then there's no better way to set
Mhm.
yourself up for success no matter what other goal you're trying to achieve. And I always, always, always focus on the positive. So those are habits that I have
Yeah.
that are non-negotiable. Even when things seem to be going awry, it's like I can find the positive in everything, because that's what I want to focus on. Wherever you put your attention, you create more of. So I always want to focus on
Mhm.
what I am trying to create and what the possibilities are in that moment. And so it's moving my body, healthy nutrition, and a
Mhm.
positive mindset. What are yours, girl? What do you got?
Okay, so I love this concept that you had. What can you do on your worst day? So the way I teach my client is like, what is the minimum that you know you can do most of the time, no matter what, right? And it comes like, of course, for me, it's business, so it's usually like their marketing activities or sales activities, right? It's like, okay, what can we create as a baseline that's a minimum. If you go above and beyond, awesome, but then you can be proud of that minimum that you do. And then, as you say, you develop that self concept of a person. I do what I said I would do. So I love that because I do that the same. Okay, even for me, right? What's the minimum if I want to establish certain habit? What's the minimum I could do? And I start there. And once I have that baseline, then I decide if I want to do more or less. Um, the habits that I have, I definitely have a movement habit, although I don't have like the minimum at 30 minutes. I'm like, just move your body
Yeah, yeah, that's
every day a
great.
bit. And it ends up being probably around that time. It's just I have it spread different, but like that's something I move every day. But I do have, I guess, I'm trying to think like of a habit that I don't drop even when I travel, because like I have a nice morning routine that when I'm at home Monday to Friday, it's there. On the weekend, I have more slow mo, like a smaller version of that. But sometimes when I travel, I drop that. But I do have an evening journaling routine that 99% of the time I keep it, even if I travel, even if, I had a bad day or whatever, because I do it right before bed. So 90% of the time, or always I go to bed at some point, right? So I tend to
Yeah,
do that.
hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's definitely something I keep. And then just being mindful of what I eat every day and trying to make sure that I eat vegetables and fruits every day. Again, I don't have like, oh, you have to eat this particular vegetable, this particular fruit, or this much, but like just making sure that every single day of the year I incorporate some of it, even if it's this much in my diet. That's definitely, yeah.
I think that
But,
that's really important. I always like to try to challenge myself to create new things that like new goals and stuff. So every month I'll challenge myself to do something because okay, so if I'm trying to learn Spanish,
mhm,
then my goal is I'm going to spend 5 minutes every day on
mhm,
Duolingo. Right now, I'm
mhm.
like, hey, if I want to improve my tennis
Yeah,
swing, every
yeah.
day for 10 minutes, I'm going to practice tennis because we know that if we practice something for 10 minutes every day, it's impossible to not get better at it. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
literally, if you literally show up for 10 minutes a day and do this thing, you can't not get
Mhm,
better at it. So that's
mhm.
like a win-win in my books. And then you're learning a new
Yeah.
skill as well, which
Yeah.
is fantastic for your brain function.
So then question I have, and I will share about me, but like for you, I guess for the health, since that's your area of expertise, have you implemented habits that were just game changer in that area for you, even if it was like 20 years ago, right? Um, have you had that? And then I was sure for the business, of course, and things related to me, but I definitely had a couple of habits that just like changed my world and like were such a huge benefit to me. So go
Mm.
first.
Yeah, okay, this is the answer right here, right? What is she gonna say? Okay, it's definitely you got to eat whole clean foods. That was a game changer for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then even more laser focused would be vegetables, like you had
Mm-hmm.
talked about before. Eat your vegetables. Your mom was right. You got to eat your vegetables, and the more vegetables you
Mm-hmm.
eat, the more benefit you're going to get, the healthier your body is going to be, the more energy and nutrients your cells are getting every single day. And so I try to incorporate like minimum 2 pounds of vegetables every single day. And so I eat my vegetables in my first meal. I only eat twice a day, but my first meal
Mm-hmm.
is full of vegetables, like green vegetables. And then I know not only have I achieved my goal, but I'm going to be a rock star because I'm fueling my body with all these vegetables. So you can't not have a great day and lots of energy when that's how you start it.
Yeah, you definitely lead by example. 2 pounds, girl. I
Yeah.
don't know if I do that.
Minimum, right? Like, and it's like, how do you know when it's 2 pounds? I weighed it at first, so I get a general idea. It's like
Yeah,
a huge bowl of vegetables every single day.
that's cool. Actually, talking about, I will share mine in a second, but like I will talk about adopting a new habit. But I have this new habit that my husband joined me on in terms of health, where we create like it's like a smoothie slash juice where all the goodness is in it, right? We don't, it's not a juice that you throw out the fiber and so on, but like a blend of vegetables. And I try to drink like a big tumbler of that, and it's a mix most days, again 5 days a week, not every, and plus like eat regular vegetables, but to incorporate more, because I don't know if I could do like a kilo of
I know.
vegetables in a thing.
I
But
I
like
like
I
to
think
eat
with that
food.
juice it
Yeah.
helps me. What?
Yeah, I love to eat. And so I'm like when I get to eat this huge plate of vegetables, I feel like a rock star
Oh
because
yeah,
I'm like just
yeah,
eating
for
so much
sure,
food. So
for
mentally, it
sure.
really works for me.
Yeah. So for me, a big change, two big changes, and that was many years ago. So I'm like really expanded on those habits, and like they've grown since. But that showed me, those two showed me the power of habits, and then like I'm almost obsessed, right? I just keep stacking different habits to help myself. One was the morning routine that really started for me with like a box breathing, right? It was just like a minute of deep breathing each morning to help me reduce my stress and overwhelm at that time and handle like crazy job that I had and my kids being little and my chaotic life that I had at the time. And when I saw the power of doing something for literally 30 seconds for 5 days a week, my mind was blown. I was like, I can't believe it. Something that small, 30 seconds of deep breathing every morning, reducing my stress and so on. Like I was hooked to habits. I'm like, if that can do this much for me, what else can I get? So that was one. And then the second one was actually weekly planning, right? So planning your actions a week ahead And I've implemented that back in my corporate career, but I use it in my business actually even more powerfully because now I have like full agency over it. So I take those actions straight from my strategy and I plan ahead. That helped me become so effective with the time and accomplish so much in a short period of time. And really my ability to create time on demand, like I kind of don't say that I'm busy, I don't have time for this, for that anymore, because I know that if I prioritize and I plan it, I always have time for anything that's important to me, no matter how full my schedule is, right? So those two things literally changed my life. And and the more I build on it, the more I'm like, I can do anything, like
Yeah.
truly anything.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I think that, okay, I feel like you're going to back me up on this, but if I'm wrong, please say so. But the book Atomic Habits is amazing. And this is
It's
what it
great.
talks about
Great
is if
book.
you make 1% change, just a 1% change every single day, it will add up to huge results at
Yeah.
the end of, say, a year or whatever that
Yes.
is. So that's why we're asking, what could you do on your worst day, but consistently every single day, that
Yes.
1% change?
Yeah. And then it compounds because once you're hooked and you see that difference, then you just become, oh, what about this? What about this? What else? Right? Like I've learned that once I really gotten to know myself, how I can establish a habit, I can make anything a habit if I want to, if it's important to me. So I know that I can stay consistent, I can figure it out and so on, right? So maybe let's talk about that. Like habit stacking, right? So like once you have a habit, how can you make it work better for you, or you can expand it or add to it? How do you do that? How do you use that in your life? And do you teach your clients to do it with nutrition?
I think the key thing is making it something that you enjoy doing.
Yes.
Because the more you enjoy it, the more prone you are to actually do it. So when I'm trying something for a month, I'm like, oh, I'm going to lift weights. And I used to be a personal trainer, but I don't like lifting weights. So I said, I'm going to do it for 10 minutes every day. And then I realized after a week, I don't want to do it for 10 minutes every day, but I could do it for 10 minutes every other day. And then I was succeeding. So as soon as I succeed, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, here we go. This I know I can do as my bare minimum, and I enjoy doing it. And so that's the key is
Mm-hmm.
how can I make it more enjoyable so that I'll be encouraged and look forward to doing it.
I love that because I do that too, especially with being active. Because like gyms, I hate gyms. I really don't like working out and like weights and stuff. But being active, I always figure out, okay, what can I make fun? Like what can be fun for me, and try that. And then like with habit stacking, where I do like, okay, once I figure out, okay, well, I want to do, like I did that with Pilates, like wall Pilates at home, right? So I'm like, okay, let me try it at first. If I enjoy it, then I'll figure out how can I make it a habit. So then once I figure out, okay, and I can do the minimum of, let's say, every other day, where would I put it in my day that will be the easiest for me to stick with, and the easiest kind of it, it won't be easy for me to say no because it's attached to something that I'm already doing, right? And it could be first thing in the morning, it could be before lunch, it could be after lunch, it could be, okay, I shut down my day and then I do it before dinner, before anything, and so on, right? You can figure it out on your own, but stacking it, so putting it against something that you're already doing relatively consistently, whether it's a habit or not, whether it's just something, makes it also easy to then adopt. Which,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, Pilates for me, it's after work. And I tried different things, right? I tried like maybe morning, maybe lunch, maybe thing, and it just didn't work. But it's okay to try, and then you just figure it out, right? Like, okay, where do I put it?
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm like morning. If I do it in the morning, I'm great. The later it gets in the day, the less likely I am
Mm-hmm.
to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also like to focus on the why I'm doing it, like my end goal. So I
Yes,
like to call
agree.
that like the self-actualized version of myself. When I'm my best self,
Yeah,
when I've achieved the goals, it's because I did this every single day. So I make a promise to myself, and I showing up and being self-disciplined is just keeping that promise that you made to your future self. That's
yes,
what it is. And it's
yeah,
really a powerful, and that's what makes the difference between like a professional athlete and an average person. It's the amount of work they're willing to do every single day when nobody else is doing it
Yeah.
and they don't want to do it and it sucks and it's hard, but they just keep showing up. And that's what makes a professional athlete so amazing at what they do.
Yeah. And as you said, like, why it's important? Because you can't really establish a habit that you're like, oh, I want to do that because everybody else is doing it, or because I should, right? Because things like, you need to have that internal motivation that really drives you to then stick with it, right? It has to be something, not because I should, but because I want to, not because everybody's doing it, but because maybe I see it, the value for me. And once you have that, like, it's so much easier to set it up, at least for me. Like, I know that I will be unsuccessful if I try to adopt something just because others are doing it and I think I should. Like, that will never work for me.
Yeah, that's what makes the difference between being successful and not successful, is like the reason why you're doing it for the days when you don't want to.
Yeah. And what I want to, I guess, encourage everybody is, like, habits really make a huge difference, as you say, like 1%. And the ones that you do, whether you do them for your health, your well-being, their life, like day to day, because you want to make your life easier or be in your business, ultimately, every single one of them will spill over to other areas of your life. So let's say if I'm doing, the breathing so I can handle my day better, I handle my day better in my business or in my personal and professional life, right? If I'm eating well, it's going to affect all of that. If I'm planning, I can plan my professional life and personal life, right? Like the most important things. So that's what I wanted to mention. But before we finish, Heather, like, what else did you want to say that maybe I didn't ask you that it's important?
I just really feel like that's the key to success, is having a habit and being consistent and showing up for yourself, but making it something that you can do every single day. And then before you know it, it just becomes who you are. You don't have to think about it. It's like your morning routine. You don't think about your morning routine. You just do it on autopilot. And then that's what this becomes. But it's the same for like positive thinking and those types of things. It just becomes that's just who I am. I'm somebody who eats vegetables every day, or I'm somebody who moves my body every day, right? So it's part of your identity. And once it's part of your identity, then it's just who you are. Yeah.
That was so great. Thank you so much. If anybody has any questions, tag us, put them in the comments, follow us.
Yeah.
However you found us, follow us.
I want to share something. I have a masterclass tomorrow night. It's called Eat More, Weigh Less, or Eat More, Lose Weight in Midlife. So if you want to learn how to eat lots of food like me and lose weight in midlife, even though your hormones are changing and your body wants to store fat, then I'll put the link in the comments.
Yeah.
And it's a free masterclass tomorrow at 7:00 Pacific time.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for sharing. Definitely put that in the comments. And then, everybody, thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Thank you, Heather, for doing this with me.
Thanks, Maggie. All right, have a great day. Bye.